I'm not sure if this is recording. Hey everybody, just a little bit of an impromptu live because I just have about an hour right now, just getting ready to go into town and actually make a blood donation, which is a super cool perk of being sober. I'm a regular blood donor, and it's one of those things that's kind of important right now during this COVID pandemic where less people are donating blood, and I keep getting like emails to my inbox saying like, if you can, please come in, we're taking all the precautions and we really need donors. So if that's something that is in your wheelhouse, something that you're willing to look into, something that interests you, yeah, check it out. There's a huge number of reasons why somebody can't donate blood, but if you can and you want to, you should. Yeah, just Google search Canadian blood donor. And so anyways, part of what makes a successful blood donation, I have learned, is if I move before. It stimulates the oxygen flow, the blood flows better. They also suggest eating something salty, drinking lots of water, and it kind of depends like on your iron levels and how much you've slept. I've had times where I've gone in and a donation has taken me 6 or 7 minutes, and then I've gone in and it's taken me like 14, 15 minutes, and obviously those ones are less ideal because you're sitting in the chair the whole time, and it can be nerve-wracking. So yeah, doing these little things before you go definitely is helpful, and one of them is moving for me. So I'm gonna move, and I'm just gonna take you guys through some movement as well because I can. So I think what I'm gonna focus on is really like opening up. I really want energy to flow, blood to flow. So I'm gonna focus on working the belly and getting nice and long. So this is a big thing in my practice. And I teach primal yoga. So primal yoga is a little bit different than your traditional yoga. And it is because we maintain the natural curvatures of the spine and of the body for movement. We support the joints by never stacking bones and locking out the joints. So it looks different, and if you are a traditional yoga practitioner, then it's going to feel like a different alignment. And if you have no yoga practice, then this is going to feel more natural than a traditional yoga practice. So either way you slice it, it's good to be able to move the body in every which way. So even if you practice traditional yoga, it's super good to be able to do this as well. And you can always yoga up your poses whenever you want to. Sometimes I'll go into a yoga class and just use my own alignment. And again, that depends on the teacher. The teacher sometimes doesn't like it when you aren't following what they're directing, but sometimes they're totally cool with it. So little tip, if you're going to go into a yoga class and use a different alignment, just kind of check in with the teacher before. So yeah. There's this traditional pose in yoga where you can lengthen the belly and get nice and long. See, my camera's just a little bit off. And get nice and long, and interlace the hands and rise up high, right? Cool. So I would take this pose and primal it up a little bit. I would step my feet wide. Open the pelvic floor, soften the knees. Gentle bend in the knees. This allows me to send the hips back just a little bit. So sending the hips back allows me to engage my glutes and support my lower lumbar and its natural curvature at the base of the spine. I can still take my hands up tall, interlace the fingers if that's what you want. Rise up high, lift the chin, lengthen the belly. Have a nice strong base. Find a pulse. Soften the knees. Draw the hips back. Lengthen through the crown of the head, chin lifted. You'll notice that I can actually find more length in the belly with this soft anterior tilt of the pelvis, because it actually opens the low belly by sending the booty back up and wide behind you, anterior tilt. Long, strong belly is open. And as I rise up, arc over to the right, lift and lengthen, opening the side line, rising up through the left side ribs. And a soft pulse, knees forward, hips back, ribs rise, chin lifts. Strong and contained. Inhale, rise and arc. Exhale, soften, come back through center. We'll rise straight up through the midline, lengthen. Again, soften the knees, soften the hip creases. And then we'll pulse over to the left, lifting, lengthen to the right side body this time. Hips back, knees forward, rise up through the right side ribs, chin lifted, throat open. Reaching through the fingertips. You can't see my hand clasped in this video, but I've taken like a little pointer fingers. You're welcome to take any hand variation that you'd like. Inhale, rise up, draw back through center. We'll release the arms forward of the heart. Take the hands wide. Press the arms forward. Feel this broaden through the shoulder blades, taking the shoulder blades apart on the back of the heart. Hips back. Pulse the arms down energetically to lift the ribs away from the hips. So again, we're searching for this length in the belly. Hips draw back, ribs rise. From the side, knees forward, hips back. Pulse the arms down, lift the chin, lengthen the belly. I'm searching for a lengthened tone in the front line of the belly. Now you're going to sweep the hands back, cupping both sides of the head. The hands are there to support the head, so we can press the head back into the hands and lift the chin. The elbows hug in towards the nose and energetically press wide to the sides. This creates space in the back of the rib cage. Make that connection. Pulse, hips back. Rise now through the forearms, lift and lengthen. So there's this energy, like as if you were picking the head up off the shoulders, but don't. You don't want to hurt your neck. It's energetic, isometric engagement. And this time as I draw the hips back, 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 I'm going to curl the chin in towards the chest, rounding through the upper back and lengthening the back line of the neck. Roll the chin along the chest, slowly, softly opening into the sidelines of the neck. Now begin to press the ribs back wide behind you, expanding through the back of the heart. Press the ribs from side to side. And come through center, draw the hips back, lift the chin, press the head back into the hands, rise up through the forearms, find your length. And give a little rib glide side to side in your length. And then come back to your center, release the back of the head, take the hands forward of the heart. You're going to bend into the knees and pivot the left toes towards the left, right toes on an angle, and the foot is in line with the left foot. From here, bend into the knees a lot. So you come into this like springy dynamic lunge position as if you were about to start running for a race. Take the hands to the tops of the thighs and begin to glide the hips back and extend through the left leg. This is a version of triangle. Option to walk the hand down the shin. Option to take the right hand to the right bum. And grab low and pick up the bum. You want to train the bum to lift up and support the lower lumbar. Finding a gentle pulse, soften the knees, send the hips back and wide. You notice the belly is long and open, the chin is lifted, and there's a soft bend in the knee the whole way. Toes are connected, digging into the mat, dragging back as if I was about to start running. It's that energy. And if you need more still, walk the hand down lower. I find a great hamstring stretch even up high. It's sourced by rooting the femur into the hip socket. One more full inhale. You're going to lift the torso, take the hands to frame the left foot, bend into the knees, transfer weight to the left, spring forward, right ankle crosses over left thigh. So you're in this figure 4. The right knee narrows up towards forward so that you can gently glide the hips back more. Sit into your seat. Bend into the standing leg a lot and ground down through the standing toes. Option to stay here. Option to take your hands to the thighs. Sit back, sit deep, press the thighs away to lengthen the belly and lift the chin. And this is a cool place to be. Heart is full. Your bum is working hard for you here, especially the left glute. I'll show you from the front. Knees narrow so the hips can glide back. Bend in the standing leg. Press the legs away to lift the heart. Last option, sits even lower to clasp the shin. Root the hips back further. Press the shin away to lengthen the belly and lift the heart. I like to pulse. And this is tough, you guys. Your bum is going to feel this. It's always the option to use a wall for support or the back of a chair. Take the hands forward, cross the right leg all the way over to meet the mat. And squish the knees together and forward. Hips are soft, back behind you. Sweep the hands back, cupping the back of the head one more time. Draw the hips back, knees forward. Lengthen the belly, open the throat. Rise high through the midline. Super important here that your toes are connected to the mat. Ground down through the big toe, like you're pressing on a button. This will help with stability. Take one more full inhale, lift and rise high. And we'll sweep the hands forward, transfer weight to the left foot. Sweep right foot back behind you to step back to this lunge where we started. Pivot forward. Glide the ribs from side to side. Find some freedom. And connect with your breath. We'll find stillness in center, transfer weight to the front of the foot, horseshoe roll to the tops of the thighs, and shoulder dips. Right shoulder to the left, hips back and wide, soften the elbows, lift the chin, and switching sides. Left elbow towards the right. Moving at your own pace, glide side to side. And come back through center. Hands forward, rise with an open belly. We'll pivot the right toes towards the right, left toes on an angle, coming into this tribal lunge. Bend into the knees a lot. So again, the front foot intersects the back foot. The knees are bent. Hands to the tops of the thighs, little dome fingertips. They're just sensitive. Send the hips way, way back. Lengthen through the right leg. Keep a softness in the knee. And find a pulse. Send the hips back, lift the heart. You'll notice there's all this length between the hips and the heart. So we're really lengthening the belly in opposite directions. As we send the hips back further, the heart lifts away. And we find this length and tone in the belly, while finding a stretch in the hamstring. Toes connected, dragging back towards the back of the mat. This action roots the femur into the hip socket. You can take your left hand to the bum and pick up the cheek. Just training the bum to lift up. And the option here, if you need more, to walk the hand down the shin. And take one more pulse. Rise up high, pivot towards the right toes. Transfer weight to the right. Sweep left foot forward, cross the ankle over top of right thigh. Bend into the knee, glide the hips back. Narrow the left knee forward. Option to stay here. Option to stay static. Make this connection of the ankle into the thigh nice and strong, and ground down through your standing big toe. This cue, the big toe presses into the mat and all the other toes follow suit. Next stop, takes fingertips to the thighs. Press the thighs away to lift and lengthen the belly. Open the throat. Gentle pulsing. The pulse is extra. I love it. Just get the pose to start. Last stop, sits deeper, sends the hips back further, catches the shin. Press the ribs forward as you send the hips back, back, back. My right glute is working hard. And stay with it for just another moment. Lightness in the rib cage, lifted chin. Full inhale. Rise high, sweep the left foot all the way over to meet the mat. The knees squish forward, hips draw back. Sweep the hands back to cup the back of the head. Press the head into the hands and resist the hands into the head. There's this energetic, like you were pressing your head into a headrest. Open the throat, the front line of the body. Rising through the forearms towards the sky. Knees squish forward, hips draw back. This energy like you were picking the head up off the shoulders. Exhales bring you down. Inhale, rise high. And then release what you've caught. Take the hands forward. Transfer weight back to the right foot. Sweep left foot back to step wide. Come back through center. Glide the ribs side to side. You can make this movement big, big, wide. Like you were seaweed swaying in the ocean. This is called seaweed sway. It's a really dark and gloomy day here today as the lighting in here is sort of dark. All right, come back through center, hands to the tops of the thighs. Send the bum back and wide. Walk the hands down the shins. So now we're coming into a hamstring extension, forward fold. There's a soft bend in the knees, and the bum is way, 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 way back. You can take your fingertips to the mat. Notice the heart is still lifted, supporting the curvature of the spine, and the chin is lifted as well, supporting the cervical spine at the base of the neck. My toes are pressing into the floor and out to the sides. Fire up into the glutes. And then plant the hands. Option to step back onto your mat or hop back. Hands press strong into the mat, eyes look forward, bend into the knees. Hop. Landing light with a spring in the knee. Narrow the knees to lower the knees. Walk the hands back. And that's where we'll stop. Hopping is my heart. So hopping practice, if anybody wants to do hopping, essentially it's like learning how to get really light on your hands, land light on your feet, and eventually you'll catch a handstand. So hopping is like an instant mood elevator. It gets your heart rate up, it gets you nice and warm, and it makes you happy. I love, love, love hopping. We can hop with the support of a wall or a friend or just on our own. And it's like being so free and being like a kid again. Anyways, I gotta get going on my way. Thank you so much for anybody who dropped in or is watching after. I'll leave the recording on our page. And please drop me any comments, anything that you would like to see in the future, and I'll catch you soon. Take care.